Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dallas Cowboys coverage. The Cowboys are sort of in a weird, kind of dry area of the offseason. So I wanted to take a video to talk about some of the teams that are doing really good right now. That's the Mavs and the Stars. So I'm going to get into that in just a second. I will briefly touch on some Cowboys stuff. They did just start OTAs, so rookie minicamp is finished up. OTAs, the optional team activities are now going. Most players are in attendance, with the exception of both CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. They're both holding out for a new contract. So, obviously, wish they were there. But again, this is a situation that the Cowboys have here is, they got to pay them. It's that simple. Both, Parsons and CD, I'd say Dak as well. You got to figure something out here. Obviously, all three of them entering the final year of their contracts. Something's just got to go here. I mean, it's just got to get going. I think these are three players that are just completely essential for your team, and just, the Cowboys have this tendency to delay and delay on these contract negotiations. They are better at getting them done around training camp, so hopefully that'll be the case. But it's just, again, a couple players that you can't expect them to take any kind of discount, nor should they, because they are, the very best at their position. So they deserve to be paid as such. And, the longer they wait, the more other players are going to get paid, the more the price goes up. So, you're not going to get a deal here. You're not going to get a discount. It's just, you got to pay your great players. So, let me know, who do you think gets paid first? Your guess between Dak, CeeDee, and Micah Parsons. We will see, but I hope that all three of them get paid, because they absolutely deserve it, and we absolutely need them on the team. So, um, other than that, OTAs will continue through this week, and I think a little bit of next. So, I'll let you know if anything big happens, but for now, just pretty simple stuff going on there. So, other than, the Cowboys, the Mavs and Stars are a lot more interesting right now, as both of them have punched their ticket to the conference finals. Not trying to hate on the Cowboys, but it's been a while since they've been there. So it's exciting to see the Mavs and Stars doing so well. Of course, the Rangers, I did a video about them a few weeks ago. Not doing as well right now, but, they have some injury issues. They'll be okay. But the Mavs and Stars, man, what seasons it's been for both of them. Two different types of seasons, but still leading to the same result so far. I'm going to talk about the Stars first, and then I'll get into the Mavs. So the Stars, they've been consistent all year long. I think, they're an interesting team because they don't have maybe the names that other teams have, the McDavids or Dreisaitl's that they'll be going up against with the Oilers. But the depth that this team has is really incredible. I mean, just the amount of young talent paired with veteran leadership, it's really a special kind of team. And I think, it almost reminds me a lot of, just, I don't know. I thought I was going to come up with something, but there's not really a good direct comparison. It just feels like a team that's so deserving, with their young guys playing so well and developing so incredibly, and then with the older guys that have just been around here for so long and just deserve that Stanley Cup. So the Stars really, they are the number one seed. They got really a pretty sucky matchup, honestly, first round. I think, having to face the defending champs and the Vegas Golden Knights was not the ideal matchup. It was tough. It went to 7 games, but ultimately the Stars get it done, and I think knock out one of the most dangerous teams in the playoffs, even though they are that 8 seed, wild card. They were a team a lot like the Rangers have been right now, the Texas Rangers, that is. They've been hurt. They've been hurt all season long. The long-term IR had been pretty insane for them. And then all of a sudden, the playoffs, everyone's back, everyone's healthy, and they were really clicking. They were playing well. And I think, as they talked about, these were two of the most dangerous teams in the playoffs, having to face off round one. The Stars, though, able to overcome it all, even with a slow start, come back from down 2 games, end up winning that series in 7. Absolutely incredible performance all the way around. And then going into the second round, you play the defending champs from a couple years ago, the Colorado Avalanche. Again, lots of star players in McKinn and Ranton and Makar. I think just so much star power. And even though, the Stars maybe don't have that to the same degree, they just, again, this team is just so deep, so efficient, and they play well, just so well together that, again, overpowering the Avalanche. They won that one in 6. Honestly, it felt like they could have swept them if it weren't for some late game chokes in some of the early games, but really they dominated overall the entire series. Ottinger was incredible in the net. Defense was good. Scoring was great. Just it was really a good series and just gives a lot of confidence just going in against the Oilers, who obviously are a dangerous team as well. But when you've knocked out the last two defending Cup champions, I think that's got to be, at least a little bit of a boost. Just, you've accomplished so much so far and just, such tough matchups. I think, it's not exactly going to get easier. I'm not saying that, but, I think you have a lot of positive momentum going your way. And I think the Stars very well could win this series. I don't think there's any question about their ability. They just got to stay true to themselves, play the good defense that we know they're capable of, and, just get scoring again. The Stars really just such an excellent team overall. I think, again, like I said earlier, just so deserving of this. They've been so close in recent years, made it to the Stanley Cup in 2020, that bubble year, lost to Vegas, got a little bit of revenge so far there. Again, made a mistake there, lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Obviously, last year was when they lost to Vegas in the conference finals. They were able to get that revenge early on in the first round. But just, my point is they've been so close so many years. And then I saw a post today talking about the veterans on this team. There are 7 players in the NHL playoffs remaining that have played over 1,000 games without a Stanley Cup. 4 of them are on the Stars, with Matt Duchene, Jamie Benn, Joe Pavelski, and Ryan Suter, who has the most of anyone. Just shows, just the veteran leadership on this team, what a key role they've played, especially in the development of the young guys. I mean, guys like Wyatt Johnson, who have just been incredible, has kind of taken over as almost the face of this team, along with, of course, Jason Robertson, Miro Heiskanen, just these guys that have been able to learn under the wings of these players. Logan Stankoven, him and Wyatt, of which, both staying at Joe Pavelski's house. They're rooming with him as they're both only 21, 20 years old. It's just incredible, the leadership and just the chemistry this team has, again, with older guys, younger guys. There's so much depth and just so much, diversity in terms of age in this team. It's incredible just the way they're able to mesh and gel together. It's really, again, just a team that's so deserving. So many guys that have gone so long without that cup. I think that, I don't know, this just somehow feels like a team that really deserves it. Reminds me a little bit of the 2011 Mavs in that sense. So obviously the Stars, such a great season all year long. They've been so consistent, had a little bit of trouble early on, and now all of a sudden it just feels like they're better than they've ever been. Of course, Jake Ottinger, again, has been incredible in the net. So this is a team that I think, the sky's the limit. I didn't even mention Tyler Seguin just because he does have a cup, but just another veteran, hasn't won it since his rookie year. Just there's so much depth on this team. So many great players, young guys. Thomas Harley's another one who's really stepped up into that first-line defensive role. It's really just been incredible all the way around, and I just hope this team can keep going. I have a lot of confidence in them, and hopefully they can bring their first Stanley Cup home since 1999. So never seen the Stars win one in my life, hoping this will be the first year. So really, again, awesome all the way around for the Stars. I'm going to move on to the Mavs now. A team who's, I think had a different kind of season. They weren't this number 1 seed. They're the 5th seed. They had to fight all year long. And I just, want to remind everyone that there was a point not too long ago, just a few months ago, that this team, was on the outside looking in of the playoff picture. I think, we were worried, was it going to be a play-in spot? Do they miss the playoffs? I don't think that was, the idea, but it's just, there was so much uncertainty with this team, especially pre-trade deadline. It was just, they have obviously the Stars and Luka and Kyrie, but after that, it felt like, the drop-off was real, and the depth, the chemistry, it just wasn't existent for, much of the first half of the season. Obviously, Luka and Kyrie, they're going to be great, but you need more than just the 2 superstars to win a championship. You need that type of depth, so much like the Stars have. And then, they made some incredible trades at the trade deadline. Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. I liked these trades at the time, but I mean, I love them now. It's been incredible, the type of impact they've made, and just hats off to Nico, Mark Cuban, whoever it was that facilitated those 2 trades. It was incredible. Grant Williams was a guy that you brought in to kind of be that guy, be that role. He struggled, never really found his footing. Locker room guy, wasn't really his thing either. Just the chemistry wasn't there. There was no mesh. There was, none of this gelling that we've seen and that you need, to have a championship team. But then it's just been the opposite with Gaff and PJ. They've just been incredible. Gafford and Derek Lively, two younger guys working so hard, kind of, a twin towers type of setup there. So good defensively at that 5 spot. Tyson Chandler has been working with both of them, and it shows. He was really the last true center we've had, taking us obviously to the NBA Finals back in 2011 and winning that first championship. It just feels like we've seen flashes of that team, not so much in the construction wise of it, but just in the character, in the just intensity, the chemistry. It's really, really been amazing what the Mavs have done and just what a turnaround it was in those last couple of months, especially. This was a team that it was like, again, are they going to make the playoffs? Are they going to have to settle for a play-in spot? Instead, they get to that 50 wins, something Kyrie was really pushing. And that's another thing I want to talk about is Kyrie's leadership, I think, has just been incredible. Truly, hats off to him. This was a guy that's been so polarizing over recent years. I think a lot of people, there's so much question about when we brought him in the trade. I personally really liked it, but I think it's worked out even greater than any of us could have imagined. The reason I liked the trade so much, even back then, is just because you got the second superstar. And I think in today's NBA, that's just something you need to win a championship. Dirk, hats off to him. He did it, really on his own in 2011, not having any other all-stars on that team. But, that's just, the league's changed. And with these super teams, these dynamic duos, it's tough to win with just one star. And I think acquiring a guy like Kyrie Irving, who's been there, who has that championship already, who just has that veteran, mindset. And it wasn't even so much leadership at that point, but just the championship and the winning mentality. I think that was just so huge. And just to be that second star, to be that guy that teams fear, take some pressure off Luka Doncic, to help create opportunities for the other guys. I think it's just really been amazing what he's done. And that's why I liked it so much in the beginning. But now that he's gotten improved and stepped into a leadership role in a way he never has before, that wasn't exactly what I was expecting from him. I was hoping he could be that second star. The leadership thing, I think, was the biggest question mark. Obviously, is he going to be that locker room diva? Is he going to be what so many people have said he was, and ruin teams in the way that people, have said that he did. It would say the Celtics, obviously never achieving what they were supposed to. He was seen as kind of that locker room cancer, as it was so called. And it was like, can he lead a team? And then with the Nets situation where there was just so much star power and then nothing happened results-wise. I think his stock was sort of at an all-time low. But I think the Mavs believed in him, and I think he felt that. He found his home finally where he's able to belong and to work, sort of as that second option to Luka, but at the same time, stepping into a leadership role that, he's really never, embraced before, maybe, whether that's true or not. He's just been so much more effective than he's ever been. And the way that the younger guys respond to him, the way Luka responds to him, I think, Luka Doncic is such a star, and, I haven't even talked so much about him, but, this is a guy that I think should have won MVP. I mean, averaging 3 points a game, almost a triple-double, just was so incredible. I think the inconsistencies of the season hurt his case, I guess, but to me, this is the most valuable player in the league. And, even with injuries, he's really had a pretty solid playoff run. But again, when he struggled, other guys have been able to pick up that slack, be able to help him out. But what I wanted to say with Kyrie Irving is I think just the effort that he's brought has rubbed off on Luka in the best way possible. Luka, I think the one criticism of him is really his tendency to complain, to whine to the refs, to not get back on defense, to show, sort of a lack of effort when things don't go his way. And that's something he still needs to work on again. But I think we're so used to him being so dominant and such a superstar that we forget he's only 25 years old. And, he still qualifies as a young guy, even though he feels like a veteran at this point. I think the influence of Kyrie Irving and the friendship, the bond that they've been able to create among each other and with the team, it's been incredible. I keep going back to this one point towards the end of the season where Kyrie got knocked down and Luka ran all the way from the bench to pick him up. It's just something that, I didn't see Luka doing before. but just the brotherhood that they've created, the effort that they've both shown, and really just the bond they have. So many analysts and experts gave that grade a D, said they could never work together, and now I mean, it looks like, Kyrie just meshing with Luka, better than he has with anyone since, LeBron. And, I think the results have spoke for themselves in this playoff run. Obviously I'm filming this right after the Mavs beat the Timberwolves. I'll mention that real quick. Incredible game one, but they didn't shoot their best. It wasn't the perfect game all the way around, but the defense, the effort, the little second chance plays, became not so little. They became so big as they win this game by just a few points. This was a close matchup, and this was a game that you get to take home field advantage away from them. You win on the road. Such a huge way to start off this series. That's the one thing the Mavs haven't done well, is starting off series with a win. They do it here tonight. And I think just that leadership of Kyrie Irving. I watched the interview with him, with Shaq, Charles, and all the guys. Just the maturity that he has gained, over these years. He's still only 32 now. I don't consider that too old, but I think he's gained so much wisdom, truly, throughout his time in the league. He's being that young guy under the wing, under the shadow of LeBron, but now, still, maybe possibly, it's kind of the sidekick to Luka, as some would say. Luka would say differently, but the way that he's embraced his role, both in, the game, as well as just with leadership, with everyone, with the young guys, with the older guys, with anyone, I think it's just been incredible what he's done. And I just give him so much credit, because this team, as good as it is, and as good as Luka Doncic is, this team doesn't get here without Kyrie Irving. And, I think the one thing, you could, hopefully work on is just maybe some consistency with him, just in the sense that he has been so streaky. I mean, he has been absolutely incredible in the second half of games. In this recent game, it was the opposite. He scored 24 in the first. If he can just maintain that throughout the game, this team might be unstoppable. But he steps up when it counts. He's there for his teammates. He's there for Luka. He's there for whoever needs him. He steps up, and he really has been, I think, just such a huge, huge player for this series and for this team. It's really been incredible to see what he's done. Credit to him, and just credit to this whole team. Jason Kidd, I criticized him a lot throughout the season. I think, we've all had reservations about him, but what he's been able to do in this playoff run, letting these guys mesh, letting them play the game they want to, being maybe not the most hands-on coach ever, but I think it's worked, to the Mavs' advantage in this playoff run. And it's really been amazing all the way up and down this team. PJ Washington has improved so much, even just from the trade deadline, what he's been able to do to be that just dead-eye shooter from the corner. He's been such an incredible third option getting going. Again, I spoke on Gafford and Lively briefly. They've been so good defensively in the center position, being able to kind of create a two-way Mavs lob city. It's been incredible what they've been able to do. And of course, Kyrie and Luka being such willing and incredibly gifted passers, they've relished in this, and it's been absolutely amazing. Obviously, Derek Jones, I think, has been another underrated player, been able to, just play his game. He's been a consistent starter all year long, and I think, maybe another one of those unsung heroes of this team. The job he's done, it's been really good. And then, just some of the other guys, I say Jaden Hardy, I think, he's been getting some more minutes. I'd love to see some more out of him. Josh Green, same sort of thing. These guys so young, if they can just continue to kind of get some consistency, give positive minutes, contribute, a little bit on the scoring end, maybe defensively as well, this team is really set up to succeed, and it's incredible. And I think, again, just remembering a few months ago where it was like, is this team even going to make the playoffs? To now, they are truly, truly a legit finals contender, as they are now just a series away, and they're already, a quarter of the way there. It's amazing, what this team has done. The transition from a team that was almost in a reload mode in the offseason, the incredible job they did to be able to bring in guys like Derek Lively, Olivier Maxence Prosper, obviously, kind of a redshirt year for him. I can't wait to see what he does going forward. Who knows, maybe maybe even he'll get some minutes. I'd love to see it. But either way, this team has done an incredible job to reload around Luka Doncic, to bring in that veteran in Kyrie to where you can win now, and to create a core of guys. PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, only 25. Lively's only like 21 or 20. This team is built for now and for in the future. This is a team that I see getting better and better. And that's amazing to see, especially when you're already in the conference finals for the second time in 3 years, even though it's such a different team than it was just a couple years ago. It's really truly exciting. And again, just like the Stars, this is a team that I could see going all the way. And I just am so excited to see what each of our teams continue to do going into the playoffs. It's been amazing, and it's been an amazing year for Dallas sports. So it's just so exciting to talk about it. Obviously, I know this is normally a Cowboys channel, but got to support the other teams around the Metroplex. So let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more of this. If either one of these teams makes it to the finals, I'll definitely do another video breaking down that matchup. And if they win it, obviously, it's going to be a celebration again. So, good luck again to both the Mavs and Stars. Can't wait to see what they can keep doing. Rangers, don't worry. I'm sure they're gonna get back on track. But remember they won a World Series too. It's amazing what Dallas sports has done recently. And the Cowboys, to my Cowboys guys, we still have hope. I believe that they can do it. It's just going to be a matter of getting everything together on all ends. So Cowboys, hey, I have hope. I know they might burn us again, but for now I'm in a good mood. So truly, thanks everyone for watching. Go Mavs, go Stars, go Rangers, go Cowboys. I will see you guys next time, and thanks again for watching.